What's good, theorists? CJ Williams tapping in. This video goes out to my true tank dogs out there. Today we're ranking the top 10 No Limit albums of all time. Yes, we're including soundtracks, compilations, and group albums, so anything goes. We wanted to make the list diverse, so you will not see multiple projects by one artist. So sorry, there won't be 4P albums on this top 10 list. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe buttons and cop a tee from the merch shop to support the channel. With that out the way, let's get to it. Number 10, Snoop Dogg, The Last Meal. The last great No Limit album really didn't sound like a No Limit album at all. With production from legends like Dr. Dre, Timbaland, and Scott Storch, you won't hear Beats by the Pound production until the second to last track. During the time when the Tank's run had all but come to an end, Snoop dropped his best work since his debut. Switching sounds from his first No Limit project proved to be successful as he saved the best effort for his last label album. The unsung hero on the project is West Coast crooner Cocaine, who appears on multiple records bodying them all. Bangers include Wrong Idea, Stacey Adams, and Lay Low. Special shout out to Set It Off, which should sound very familiar to And One mixtape fans. Uncle Snoop credited P for giving him the game and keeping his name afloat after falling out with Death Row. Top Dog, followed by this, gave Snoop's No Limit run a positive spin after getting off to a shaky start. Number 9, Mystical, Unpredictable. Another big name free agent, while not as known nationwide like Snoop, Mystical had built up a strong buzz for himself in the Big Easy. His No Limit debut is regarded as his best of the 3 Tank releases by most fans. Setting the tone early, Mystical was granted a highly sought after Soja song, Born to Be a Soldier, which kicks off this No Limit fan favorite. Lyrically one of the Tank's best and certainly the most animated, Mystical spits firecracker flows and rapid rhymes across the 17-track LP. Bangers include Ain't No Limit, Still Smoking, and The Man Right Chill. Notably, this was the first No Limit album to sport a feature from fellow free agent Snoop Dogg on Gangsters. Speaking of features, they're uncharacteristically low for a No Limit project, with only the Colonel, Silk, and Mia X representing the Tank here outside of the Soja song. Thankfully, the man named Michael Tyler is fully capable of doing the heavy lifting on this down south classic. Number 8, Soja Slim, Give It to Him Raw. The day we make a list regarding the realest artist on No Limit, we can tell you now Soja Slim would be top 2, and he's not 2. Give It to Him Raw, the debut album from the artist formerly known as Magnolia Slim, covers subjects like getting high, dodging death, and writing letters from behind the wall. Even though more than half of the 20 tracks have features, it's not noticeable, mainly because Slim's style is very unique to him and his talents stand out even on a crowded Tank. Joints like Imagine, You Ain't Never Seen, and What's Up What's Happening slap today like it's 1998. But if we had a time machine, we tell fam to cut that No Limit party track, take those same features, and just make a Soja song. Slim never appeared on one, much less had his own, and that's a damn shame. Number 7, See Murder, Life or Death. After memorable verses on True to the Game, Ghetto D, and Charger to the Game, March 17th, 1998 finally saw the third Miller brother get his first crack at a solo project. The anticipation was through the roof, with expectations met if not exceeded with this 26-track epic Life or Death. Standouts like A Kick Dough, Don't Play No Games, and Where I'm From were instant classics in the eyes of No Limit heads. I don't know about you, but I still remember the moment I heard his Soja song, the amply titled Soldiers. A top 3 Soja song at worst, if you ask your mans. With so many tracks and it being a 98 No Limit release, you already know the features were plentiful. Thankfully, most of them shine. From Fiend on Cluckers, Soja Slim on Ghetto Ties, and Gotti on Survival of the Fittest, the co-stars definitely understood the assignment. If there was a knock on the album, it would be the glaring influence Tupac had on C. It's pretty clear he was a fan, and if you said that takes away from the experience, we wouldn't fault you. But come on, there's 1,000 artists who took a page from the Pac book, so let's not trip too much. Number 6, Young Bleed, My Balls and My Word. Although Bleed would appear on Vlad TV and say his debut technically didn't release under No Limit,
like I was literally today years old when I realized that was not a No Limit album.
Right. The world's still figuring that out right now, Vlad.
Wikipedia and the giant gold-plated Tank on the back cover say differently. Plus, there's no way in hell we're making a No Limit list and not including it, so here we are. Produced mostly by Happy Perez with only sprinkles of the Beats by the Pound sound, My Balls and My Word would be an instant classic after its January 98 release. The varied production mixed with his semi-lazy, laid-back flow contrasted nicely with more boisterous artists like Mystical, Fiend, and P. The Day They Made Me Boss, Lil Papa Got a Brand New Bag, and Time So Hard are just a few of the many standouts. Bleed would go on to drop several other projects, but none would hit quite like this one. Actually, you could say that about most No Limit artists. Yo, chalk it up to P overseeing or Right Time, Right Place, but the fact is many artists' best releases came under his watch. Number 5, 1995, TRU, true to the game. Sandwiched in between two classic double albums with 1996's All Eyes on Me and Life After Death dropping a month after this, sometimes True to the Game can get overshadowed. Understandably so, those are two phenomenal albums by some of hip-hop's best talent. But let's give this double disc its flowers too. The impact on this album was huge for No Limit. It was the first top 10 debut for the Tank, coming in at number 8 on the Billboard 200, spawned a rap chart hit in I Always Feel Like, a Down South club hit in Free Codes, and introduced the iconic Soja song with No Limit Soldiers. The bangers are endless, but we will say several soldiers make appearances, but none more than P and Silk. They're on almost every song, so if you're not a fan of them, then your placement of this album may be slightly different. Still, slaps like Swamp Nigga, They Can't Stop Us, and Pop Goes My Nine plant this album firmly for us in the top 5. Number 4, the I'm Bout It soundtrack. There was a brief discussion among the CT collective on whether we would count soundtracks for this list. That talk was brief for an obvious reason. This soundtrack is stupid fire. P assembled Tank members and called in favors from his Cali compadres to put together the perfect balance of down south hustlers and West Coast bad boys. Yo, where do we start? Well, the first song is Meal Ticket, which features P, UGK, and A-Ball MJG. Can we interest you in that? We've heard this song 1,000 times and still don't know who had the hardest verse. And where were collab albums back then when we needed them? That UGK Ball and G collab project? Would've went crazy. Yo, we get early looks from new soldiers, Fiend and Mystical, making only their second appearance on the Tank project. Anybody want to take a guess which album they showed up on first? I'll give you a clue. It's the same project. Okay, that wasn't really much of a clue, but leave a comment if you know. We'll pin the first comment that gets it right to the top. EA Ski, E40, Be Legit, and JT the Bigger Figure hold it down for the West Coast, while Young Bleed and even Sons of Funk give us No Limit classics and How You Do That and Pushing Inside of You respectively. Yo, seriously, more respect needs to be put on this soundtrack, and yes, that top 10 soundtrack list is being worked on. Not having this on there would be blasphemous. Number 3, Master P, Ghetto D. The album that officially put the Tank on the map, Master P's 6th album was The Charm. P and No Limit as a whole remain a divisive topic. Depending on who you're speaking to, the trapper turned rapper may represent what's wrong with hip-hop, music being more of a hustle than an art form, while others would defend it tooth and nail, calling it an undeniable classic. Well, if you've been watching this channel, then you know where we stand. Ghetto Dope is littered with slaps like the title track, Let's Get 'Em, and We Riders right out the gate. The feature-heavy project could have easily been the third disc at the end of the True to the Game album, as Silk is on double-digit songs and damn near every soldier gets a 16. Turns out that was a marketing play because the following year we'd get music from all of the above. Who needs a big-time feature when you have a roster this loaded anyway? Yo, if it's been a minute, do yourself a favor next time you hop in the whip, close your eyes and just reminisce on September 1997. Crank up that Gangsters Need Love, then chase it with Come and Get Some, then close out with Bourbons and Lax. Ah, what a time to be alive. Number 2, Mac, World War III. Yep, World War III over Shell Shocked. By no means was this an easy decision, so if you have it swapped, we're not going to argue you down. But just consider this for a second. World War III dropped in late 1999, which, if you know the story of the Tank, was somewhere between the beginning of the end and, well, the end. Several high-profile artists had left, including Beats by the Pound, the production crew responsible for the last 50 or so projects. So the chips were stacked against Mac, who still managed to drop a classic that has more depth and layers than his previous classic Shell Shocked, while still maintaining the production level that we're used to. Thought-provoking joints like Father's Day, Can You Love Me, and Genocide give this project a completely different vibe from previous No Limit albums. Not to mention the Camouflage Assassin eerily predicting his own future on Lockdown. We could go on about Mac and Mia's chemistry on You Never Know, or P and Company clapping back at Pastor Troy on We Deadly, but we don't want to keep you from getting the numero uno. But just know, this World War III was special. Number 1, Fiend, Street Life. Another impossible decision between one artist with 2 No Limit albums. Fiend is responsible for a duo of complete bangers. Street Life gets the nod by the slimmest of margins over There's One in Every Family for similar reasons as Mac. Another 99 drop. Enough can't be said about how the train came to a screeching halt and feelings for projects were waning by the day. Luckily for Capital FI, he got the last pack of Beats by the Pound production, as there were no more once this dropped. Speaking of production, it's superb, and many joints sound nothing like anything the Tank had put out. Show me another song like Heart of the Ghetto Boy or Waiting on God from any prior No Limit album. I'll wait. Features were kept to a relative minimum with Mia, Mystical, and Magic pulling up, but mostly that's it. Not even a Master P appearance. A super rare occasion for a No Limit project. It's a shame Mac isn't featured here either, or that Fiend isn't on World War III for that matter. Outside of that, this album is damn near flawless. With a catalog as deep as No Limit's, we already know no two lists will look the same. So let's put that theory to the test and comment with your personal favorite top 10 No Limit albums down below. Now don't forget, the first person to comment the first appearance from Fiend and Mystical on a No Limit album gets their comment pinned to the top. And again, it's on the same project. Now make sure you like and subscribe and check out that merch link to help keep the lights on. Till the next time, it's your man CJ Williams. I'm out.